Hello, folks. This is Nico Tricoci, the consigliere, live with the liaison, Jeff Mraz. And let's get right to it. This is the 2022 Maestros Bocce Draft. 28 teams. I think it's tied with the largest that we've had. Last year was 24. We're back to 28. And we're ready to go. We're going to dive right into it. So we've got 7 groups of 4, 28 teams, like I said before. So in Group A1, we've got mic'd up. They go right in there because they are last year's champs pretty decisively, that final. Jeff, what do you think about their chances to repeat this year? Because now there's a lot of talk by Mike Zara there.
I think honestly they'll get top 6, but no way they're repeating. I think their names are both Mike and they're mic'd up, but I don't know if they're in sync.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's been an interesting year so far. I don't know if they're going to gel either, but we'll see. I know Zara really wants to go back to back. It's never been done at Maestros.
It's a hard task. It's hard to win it once,
right,
let alone
exactly.
back to back.
Okay. So let's go right into the first pick at B1. And it is the Rafafarians. Nice. I believe it's Mickey. You know a little bit about these guys. It's Mickey and Jake.
Evans. Yeah, these are my nephews. So this is their second outing at the tournament. They've been waiting for years to get after it, and now they're finally old enough and ready to go. So I think they'll do better than last year, but I think they're still getting used to, competitive bocce.
Sure. The backflip doesn't hurt though. It's a great.
No, it's super nice. And Mickey actually has a bocce court on the roof of his apartment, so he's been putting in a little practice. So
perfect. Good. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got in position C1. We've got 312 Bocce Black. Now that's a new outfit led by Andre and Jonathan Zangara. And this is the team of Petrit Nadzaku and Jonathan Bulia, if I'm saying that correctly. So newbies to our show. So what do you think? I think it's just going to be interesting. I'm happy they got 3 teams.
Yeah, 3 teams is huge. I mean, they're on a movement. They're it'll be interesting to see where their bocce Instagram page that they started is at next year, because they've been hammering it and getting out in the community. I think it's great. Yeah, it's great.
I look forward to seeing what they got, these 3 teams. Let's go into D1. And it's Stugatz in D1. Okay. So Stugatz is the team, father-son team of Angelo and Gianluca Scarcella. Very Italian. So I expect them to bring a lot of that marinara heat. It's nice to just have another father-son, I think. What do you think?
I think it's great. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a little bit of Maestro's experience. Hasn't the dad been before? So, there's a lot. He's a lot more seasoned than some of these other greenhorns coming in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like I said, I think it's the second father-son team we've had, and there's been a little rocky relationship sometimes when it comes to father-son, and we've seen fathers that may be a little bit more competitive than maybe their sons want to be. So it'll be interesting. All right, let's look at E1. And you've got the Roselle Rebels. Now, this is a team that's transformed. In years past, it's Phil Zuber and Brett Weinstein, I'm going to say. And they have always presented as the Eskimo brothers. Do you think they're just trying to shake it up and maybe dust off some of the bad blood from the several past years?
I don't know if it's bad blood, but I do think name change, game change. I think these guys are ready to shake the dusty blue tank tops it'll be interesting to see what uniform they come up with because they always are matching and looking fresh. Except for they've been wearing the same tank tops for several years now. Could be why they want to change the name. Something with those dojo boys, man. Like even Gravy Boys keep rocking that same dusty
Hey man,
gold mustard.
Sometimes it pays to maybe change things up a little bit.
No, I think they'll do well though. The Roselle Rebels.
Okay.
I think they'll do well this year.
In position F1, we have the High Rollers. So that's a pair of my cousins, Frankie Falbo and Matt Downs. You've seen both of those guys in the past. Lackluster showings. Are they ever going to pull out of the? I mean, I think pulling out of the group stage would be a win.
Yeah, I think if they're lucky, they'll get out of group, but not really sure what to expect from those guys. I don't know how much they play, honestly. So
yeah, definitely. All right, let's look at G1. And you've got the Cinderella Story. Now that's a team of Pete Yan and George Brown, both of which, in my opinion, have been pretty hot over the last tournament or two.
Yeah, both are showing promise right now. They're definitely playing some good bocce, and it'll be interesting to see how they team up together for a whole day of drinking whiskey and drinking beer.
Yeah. I worry a little bit about Pete coming off the handles, but if George can rein him in, I mean, George played really well at King's Cup just recently, so interesting team, I think. Let's look at A2. Now these guys are going to be going up against the champs in that group. So let's see what we got. And we have the Chosen Ones. And the Chosen Ones is the team of Mr. Paul Sheeta from the north and myself.
That's you guys.
So
wow.
Jeff, do you have any thoughts on that team / pairing?
So it's Nico and Paul, cousins. The starters of the two big tournaments. Could be the magic Maestros is hoping for, or it's going to be just you guys barely making out a group play, and that's a wrap. I mean, traveling's always tough, and we know those Canada boys like to party and have a good time, and maybe overextend when they come down. They usually catch a game. Maybe a couple of drinks, so we'll see. But I think it'd be great if you guys went ham and got yourselves to the finals.
Yeah, it'd be great too. I'm looking forward to playing with them. I think it's just going to be a fun day in general. I can't wait, and he can turn on the smack talk once in a while, so that'll be good. So,
yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and pick B1. And you have My Bocce Hurts. So My Bocce Hurts is a team of Mike McPherson and I believe his nephew Jamar. Late entries into our tournament. Big plug for Bream there.
And Mike McPherson. A walk-up Wu-Tang walk-up song. I mean,
yep. He's got a nice little walk-up song ready for us. And I don't know. Mike has been here, I think last year, the year before.
Last year for sure, and 2 years in a row at King's Cup. So he's definitely got the itch, and I think he'll do a better showing than last year. Now he knows what to expect. Little experience. So
yeah, I do too. I think he's going to take his young nephew under his wing a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we got C2 position, and you have Robert Solomon and Kyle Herman, the team unknowns. They've been here in the past with us. I can't really recollect or remember what they've done in the past, to be honest.
I believe there might have been some group play exits, but I don't think they've ever really made it past that first round of playoffs if they have.
Sure.
But always down to have a good time and
absolutely
for friendly fellows.
Yeah. All right, let's see. D2. You got the Gravy Boys. Interesting team in D2 with Stugatz here. The Gravy Boys. Now, a couple years ago in the finals, fell from grace last year a little bit. Which carnation are we going to get? Reincarnation are we going to get this year?
I think that finals run is their Cinderella story. I don't know that they'll ever get back there. Maybe some fresh jerseys and some fresh gravy that hasn't been heated up in the sun.
Yeah.
We'll see. But always competitors, always strong. We'll see how their group ends up filling out, because definitely I got them over Stugatz right now.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. In position E2, we've got Touch the Polino. Okay. Touch the Polino is a team. It's a cousin team of mine, Frankie Lassen and Joey Metello. I'll be honest. I'll take this one, Jeff. I don't expect anything. These guys get they come late, or they miss the opening ceremonies. Stuff like that just throws you off for the rest of the day. And I mean, you're pretty much doomed from there on. So I'll say this: if they can find a way to be on time, ahead of schedule, they have a chance to maybe mix it up in their group a little bit. But that's a long shot.
And let's take a moment here. Speaking of showing up tardy, you will be docked points if you're not on time. So respect the rules, respect the times. Otherwise, you're screwed from the start.
It's a great point. All right, F, position 2. And you've got Bocce Eggplant. So that is the married team of the Liaison and Liaison, I believe.
Leah, yeah, Lee right? And Liaison.
Yeah,
that's me and Jen. We're coming after it, and I haven't played well all year, so not expecting much. Jen and I played really well against certain teams at Villa Park. Mm-hmm. So, we could catch fire and make a good run. We'll see. I'm worried about stamina and whiskey for Jen, but we're prepping Gatorades and vitamins, and good. Maybe we might pack a Red Bull.
Fabulous. I think that's all that needs to be said about you guys. I'm excited. First married couple to play in the tournament, although there's word that it may not be the last married couple. So we'll see as the picks go.
Ooh. Who is it?
We got G2 2-pound balls in position G2. What do we know about them, and what do we think about them going into this year?
We know they can play well, and we know that last year they didn't.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. In years past, if you really look back, they've made semis, quarters, several runs, never made a final, and then they just kind of steeply fell off the cliff. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to get into quarters. They'll make some noise, but I don't see them touching the finals. It's just too much competition this year.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Now that we're halfway through, real quick plug to Stolen. Oh,
yeah. Disappearing.
Stolen.
Gotta hold it right in front of you.
Can I'm going to crack that. Official drink of Maestros Bocce. Little sip.
Cheers.
Go get yourself some at your local Benny's or any liquor store.
Instacart.
All right, we're back to A1. We got position 3. And we have the Bocce Ballers. Now, the Bocce Ballers, I believe, are friends of Z. Yep, Nick Diaferio and David Gagliano. I don't know much about these guys, but what I understand is that they do both, I believe, play in Elmwood Park in some of the leagues. I don't know how much that helps them in the grass like we play, but playing is playing, so you understand the tempo and how the game's going. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's if they have experience playing bocce, they obviously know how to compete and pull from their experience. So I think they'll be okay. Other than they might be a
Other
little
than being in a pretty
overwhelmed.
tough group.
Yeah, obviously, it's a tough group. So we'll see. It's a wild card, I guess.
All right, in Group B, B3, we have the Bocce Skirts. So the Bocce Skirts are apparently the second married couple team to enter the field this year, as I have heard recently that big Russ Skirtle will not be available to attend. And very swiftly, my sister Lanisa gobbled up his spot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Rusty didn't have much to say about it. I don't know how that's going to work out. It sounds like a train wreck, to be honest.
Here's my thoughts on that. So just thinking about the two of them, they're both champs. They both won some huge sporting events. They know what it takes to get there and win. If they can find that on Saturday, August 6th in Mount Prospect, Illinois, we'll see. I think a surprising run, honestly.
That's an interesting thing. I kind of want to lean with you too, only because I'm wondering if Lanisa it can go one of two ways. Can she keep him on the straight and narrow?
Well, can they compete, or will they compete against themselves?
Right. It's a good question.
I think they're gonna hammer it together and get on the same page. I think they could actually do some damage.
Okay.
Your sister's feisty and Rusty. I don't know that his dad ever wanted to win the tournament. I think he wants to come have a good time and smoke cigars and drink whiskey.
Good point.
But I think Lonnie could be that partner that Russ might need.
Okay. We'll see. All right. In Group C, position 3, we have Trump AF, everyone's favorite team to hate, I think. Yeah. You have thoughts about those two guys? I mean, one's really likable. The other one,
yeah,
I don't know what to say about him.
Exactly. It's like, you got one guy trying to cheat his way in and not pay his fair share, and then you got another guy that's super likable. And sure, Stevie loves to be the villain, play the villain. But down deep, he's a good guy, and so is Nick. So I don't expect much from them. Nick wasn't here last year; it hasn't been to anything yet. Same with Stevie. As far as playing, if they do pull anything out of their ass, it's definitely going to be coming out of their ass. It's going to be lucky as hell, and it's going to have a horseshoe shape.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think now that we've got a bunch of seasons in front of us, people are getting better just naturally, and you're starting to see the difference between now and those early tournaments or early days where it was like, hey, nobody's really that great, or we're figuring it all out. Now I think it's getting a little tighter. All right, so we got Group D, position 3, and you have Stress-Free Bocce. Now, this is a very interesting team. It's Joe Sawicki, who's been playing lights out lately, and the return of none other than Mr. Douglas Soda.
Douglas Soda with the return, and Joe. Doug and Joe.
Wow. I think it's a great team. Honestly, it's on the top of my short list for teams to win.
Wow, just off the bat, I'm thinking that's a good running team. Joe's been playing pretty well since last year. So wow, that's an interesting combo. That's are they in my group?
No, that's the group of Stugotz and Gravy Boys.
Oh, they're with Gravy Boys. Nice.
Yep. So we got Group E, position 3. Sorry here. Botch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
We know those guys.
Position 3. We know those guys. came oh so close last year. Some say one of the greatest Maestros games ever played. What do you think about their chances this year? Frank is coming back from Italy tomorrow. Maybe a hangover effect, or is he rejuvenated? And Caden also on a trip as well. Where are their heads going to be? What do you think?
I think rejuvenated. I mean, Caden's got a 5 minute and 41-second mile under his belt at this point, which is fast. He's going to adjust. He's got the endurance. But Frank's a beast. They know how close they got last year, and I think they'll be just as close this year.
Yeah, I expect them. I'm actually fingers crossed. They got a good group here. I'm fingers crossed that they're gonna make it out and make some noise. We got an F, Group F, position 3. We got the SOBs. Now this is our buddy Mike Perman, and I believe Jeff Grice, his buddy. Mike hasn't been there for a few years, but he talked. That guy is ready to play. So what do you think? What do you think about him?
Well, a side note about Mike Perman is he missed last year because that tornado ripped some of his house apart, and he couldn't come. But he's coming this year, and you better believe he's bringing some of that storm with him.
Yeah, no, for sure. Competitive,
definite
as hell.
competitor.
Yeah, I think he's going to be right there. I don't know if they'll come out of the group, but they're going to definitely make it hard for somebody.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to upset a couple teams.
All right. So we got position G, Group G, position 3. And you have 3-1-2 Bocce White. This is another one out of the 3-1-2 outfit. And I believe it's Brian and Tyler Kalina. I don't know much about them. Sounds like brothers, maybe cousins. Always like some type of relationship going in though. So, maybe with Dre and Johnny guiding them a little bit. Who knows? Unexpected teams can do unexpected things sometimes.
Yeah, well said.
All right. Let's go into rally up the group A1. At the end, number 4, a lot of good teams left.
Yeah, seriously.
And you have Bocce Balboa.
Yeah.
So
wow.
what do you think about Bocce Balboa, 2-time winners, rounding out Group A with the chosen ones and mic'd up, dangerous group? What are their chances looking like?
I mean, that group's a sloppy mess right now. That one's could possibly the group of death. I mean, honestly, that's right. That's gonna be some heckling, some smack talking. That's a beefy group. I don't want nothing to do with that group.
Okay. All right, let's just move on from that. All right. We got B, position 4. (3-1-2) Bocce Blue.
Other 3-1-2, or is it 3-12?
3-12. I don't know. We're gonna have to ask.
I think it's 3-12. Their Instagram says 3 and then 12.
Okay. Well, that's another team. And that's Andre and Johnny, actually. They had a great run just recently in Canada. Unbelievable run. Kind of got jobbed a little bit. The
controversy.
Yeah. But could have won it all. I expect something. With the formation of 3-12 and everything else, I think they're taking it more seriously. I think they're coming.
Definitely.
All right, so that's 3-1-2 Bocce Blue. Let's look at Group C and who's going to finish out that group. Birds of Prey. Ooh, everyone's perennial favorites.
Everybody's favorites.
Just a great time. Always bring great energy, but always kind of just the bridesmaid. When are they going to get there?
I mean, I don't know that they can't get there. I think they just get in their own way with they like to have the fun, if you will.
Sure.
And I mean, they'd have to really be locked in, similar to when the West Side Wops won. You know, you got to be just in that zone of drunken haze and pull it out.
Yeah, it's got to be the perfect storm for you.
Yeah,
I agree.
perfect storm.
All right, let's see who's going to round up Group E. And you have PP Touchers. So that's the group of Milan and this unknown woman / girlfriend, I believe. I don't know exactly the details, but let's say a partner, Milan and a partner. Let's make no judgment. What are they going to bring? I know Milan brings his silliness, but he can also throw pretty well.
I mean, let's just hope, because there are point penalties for being tardy. Let's hope he can be on time.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a win.
If he's on time, I feel that he will, do well. If he is bringing his girlfriend, I think my chances in my group are even worse, because I think we'll have a few more drinks with them.
Right.
So that's tough.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I miscalculated. That was PP Touchers finished off Group D. So my fault.
There you go.
Okay. Group E, we're going to finish off now. And you've got Next Vibe Ballers. So Next Vibe Ballers is another set of cousins. I mean, same as the first. If these guys don't show up on time, it wrecks their whole day. I don't see it happening for them.
Yeah, they've been coming for years. Never really stamped out, a presence. So maybe one of their groups comes to play, and they, at least some of the Matellos make a run. We'll see. It's always great to see them. They come to Maestros every year, so hopefully one of these years is their year to kind of make a splash and at least make a good playoff run. We'll see.
I agree. Let's go ahead and look at finishing off Group F. And you have Pure Blood Bocce. And that is the team of Phil Ross and Aaron Brown.
Woo!
Interesting team. And I believe they're in your group.
Okay.
So you might think of favorites, but I still think that's a pretty tough group. Interesting team. Maybe Aaron's got something to prove.
We'll see how his back holds up. And
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure to play against Phil and Aaron. So I'm excited that they're in my group, actually, because at least I'll get to see them for a game, and chop it up. So
definitely. Which finishes, it's very apropos that we finish with the last team in the last group, G, Bocce Bacchanals. I believe it's Bacchanals or Bacchanals. And that is the team of Slava and the guy who's been absolute fire for in the MBC this year. Fire. Mr. Hippie.
Wow.
I mean,
the guy, by the way, Andrew, real name, goes by Hippie. Log Cabin, he just won the Log Cabin League with Slava.
Yep.
He's won the last 2 Maestros tournaments.
Yep.
Dude's throwing absolute heat. And Slava's always playing pretty well. These guys could just stomp everybody, potentially.
They could.
We'll see.
They could. Their group is pretty saucy. Cinderella story. 2-pound balls. Couple of troublesome teams, but I expect them to get out of the group. Let's look broader real quick if we can, and maybe look at the different groups. I gotta say A1 is probably the toughest looking. You got mic'd up chosen ones, Bocce Ballers, Bocce Balboa. You got to pick 2. Who's coming out for you?
I mean, Jesus, man. I think honestly, you guys in Bocce Balboa,
No mic'd up. Returning champions
Mike
get bounced.
mic'd up gets in on a wild card and makes a decent go of it, but no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. How about Group B? We've got the Rafafarians, My Bocce Hurts, Bocce Skirts, and 312 Bocce Blue. No offense to these teams, but a very soft group. And to your point, a group that Bocce Skirts could win.
Honestly, man, if they get on a little bit of a streak going, I think they'll carry that streak through the whole day.
Interesting. Yeah. We got in Group C, 312 Black, Robert and Kyle with the team yet unmentioned, Trump AF, and Birds of Prey. I'm going to go Trump and Birds of Prey are kind of running for that group.
Yeah, I would say that's safe. Wild card would be Solomon and Kyle for sure, I think.
Yeah. Group D, another interesting group, Stugatz, Gravy Boys, Stress Free Bocce, and PP Touchers. I think that Stress Free's Bocce, that's their group to lose, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I think they could possibly run up a decent point differential there.
Right. Yeah, which is it's a big deal in Maestros.
Yeah,
We've seen
yeah.
playoffs, play-in games, all kinds of stuff. So good point that Demi made. Differential matters. The top two teams will go on, but in the group of 16, we need two more. That's where the wild cards come in. Only two wild cards this year, which
Cutthroat.
is cutthroat. So Group E, you got the Roselle Rebels, Touch the Polino, Botch Cassidy, and Next Vibe Ballers. Again, I'm gonna go with Botch Cassidy. It's theirs to lose.
Yeah. They'll come out on top, I think, for that. And then wild card, who knows, crapshoot for the second spot.
Yeah, another chance to build up some big gap in your point differential for Botch Cassidy, I think. In Group F, High Rollers, yourselves, Bocce Eggplant, SOBs, and the Pure Blood. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go with you guys squeaking out a second place behind Pure Blood. But I think you're going to give Pure Blood a tough game.
I think so too. I think SOBs will hold their own too. That'll be the group where it's like we're all praying for a wild card, I think.
Yeah. No, I think so. And then to round it out, Group G, you got Cinderella Story, like I said, 2-pound balls, 312 white, and Bocce Bacchanals. I don't know how you bet against Hippie at this point at all.
Right.
And then 2-pound balls and Cinderella Story are really going to have to do their darndest to keep those guys out of the groups, out of the bracket stage.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting group. There's a lot of great groups. I mean, honestly, it's going to be tough as always.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to sleep well knowing what group they're in.
No, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be great. We've got some great competition. Pick your final and your champion for me if you have to.
I mean, I didn't know I was going to have to answer such a question. I mean, just personally, I would love for Joe to get there, but I don't know if I want to see him do it with Doug. So, if I had to, obviously I'm picking myself. But I think that, I think potentially there's going to be some magic with you and Paul. So, I don't know. I'm notoriously bad at picking anybody in the final. So I don't know if you want me to mention your team.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see it like all the groups in front of me.
Well, yeah, we make your choice later, and as you can make your bets later as well.
I will be
when we have the automated online betting portal available for Maestros. It's awesome. Hopefully, we take some snaps of that for the IG and everybody else. Outside of myself and Paul, I just want to have a good time with him and make a deep run. I'd love to win it with him, to be honest. But outside of us not picking us, I honestly think that I think Botch Cassidy, depending on the road, I think they can get to a final this year. And I think they have enough. Caden's a little bit more mature this year.
Yeah.
A little older. And I'm looking at them, and I agree with you. I'm almost looking at them in stress-free Bocce. I don't think mic'd up to it. Bocce Bocce Balboa. I
I
think they've
think
had their day here and there.
Hippie and Slava, I think will be in the finals or right before there. Slava is super competitive. Hippie's on a huge streak. You
Right,
know, this is their first years, as maestros,
right.
and they got a ton of experience, and they definitely both started on lawn. So I think
Yeah.
that if they can read the maestros courts,
Well,
they're going to be unbeatable,
that's the
which
X
is
factor, is depending
right,
on the courts that they end up on and how the
right,
dice rolls with those. You just never know if you're on the outside for a
right.
couple games or the inside. You just have no idea. And so you get the right teams at the right time, and you may be able to knock off a few. But like I said, those guys are at the top of my list as well. But if I had to pick a couple, those are the guys I'm going for. And to be honest, I'd love to see my dad and Caden win it, especially
Yeah,
in this
be cool.
kind of setting in this big group. So, and that's all we have leading up. I mean, a week, a little bit more than a week away, give or take. It's going to be spectacular. We got some other surprises coming up, and I can't wait. August 6th, be on time, please. Check your times. Check for opening
What are
ceremonies.
the times? What are the times? Let
What are the
everybody know.
times? I believe that we are check-in is between 10 and 11. It's going to be more like 10 to 10:30, I believe check-in is. And then because we often roll not until 11:30 when it comes to that. So 10 to 11 check in, but you want to be early, get yourself associated with the lands and the food and the
Yeah.
drinks, and say hi to everybody. So 10 to 10:30, be there if you can. Get your swag, get your stuff, get your lanyards and all the schedules that Lisa does all that work to do. Get yourself straight, get yourself a beer, and don't be rushing. And then it's time to kick off around 11:30 or 12. So yeah, it should be a good time. I can't wait. August
Yep.
6th.
Same.
Yep. A week from
Be
this
fun.
Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Liaison. This was fun, man.
Sorry, Caden couldn't be here.
Yeah,
I humbly filled in, and shout out to C-Man, and I hope I did him proud.
for sure. I think you did. All right, brother, man. Well, thanks for being on, and we'll see you soon.